So was the event F5 worth the grind? Before I tell you, I'm going to go ahead and rate it, and yes, I'm going to make you wait. This F5 has a top speed of 1,444 kilometers per hour, and on the deck you can reach Mach 1, but you'll still struggle because you don't have the upgraded engines. So you're stuck at 11.0 with the speed of a 10.3. You're also out accelerated by basically everything in this BR bracket, and you can only outpace strike aircraft. So it's going to get a 2 out of 10 for speed. Moving over to agility, it is an F5 airframe, so it's super light and maneuverable, and you shouldn't really have any issue dogfighting anything in this BR. That is of course if you make the dogfight quite quick, because as soon as you commit to a long-term energy fight, you're going to lose because your engine output is not enough. Since it depends on how long you actually engage, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for agility. Now for offense, you do get access to a 20mm cannon and 2 AIM-9L Sidewinder missiles. I have absolutely no complaints about the cannon. It's pretty good, it hits hard, and it's fast firing, but the fact that you only get 2 AIM-9Ls at 11.0 is absolutely atrocious. Granted, AIM-9Ls are pretty good, you just don't carry enough to make a huge impact in the game. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for offense. As for its defense, you do get 60 standard countermeasures, and you do get a really good RWR for 11.0. And the RWR really comes in handy when you're fighting F-5A because it'll tell you the exact direction they're locking you in. The only issue I have with this defense is the fact that it doesn't have any large caliber countermeasures. Still, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for defense. Moving over to CAS, it does get access to the new Penguin missiles, which are quite fun to mess around with, although it's actually really hard to get a destruction when you're max ranging with the Penguins. A lot of the time they just get shot down or lock onto an enemy that's invulnerable or already destroyed. To complement your Penguins, you do get access to AGM-12B bullpups, which are M-close, meaning you have to manually guide them. But once you get the hang of them, they actually aren't bad at all because they hit really hard. Now as a major downside, you don't have any rocket, bomb, or cannon ballistic computers, meaning you're basically doing this blind and you're doing it manually. Now for CAS, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because it's very reliant on the pilot. Now for features, you basically only really have a good RWR, and I mean the Penguins are pretty cool, although they're really unreliable, and it's missing so many features that vehicles in this PR have, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 for features. As for durability, it was pretty good at taking any type of cannon fire, but as soon as you were critical, it was basically over for this airframe, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. As for difficulty, it's basically got nothing going for it. I mean, you're basically doing everything blind in an aircraft that's not very good, and this vehicle is entirely reliant on how good the pilot is at the game. So with 1 being the hardest, I'm going to give this thing a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. Moving on to the fun value, the gameplay is pretty slow and it's really reliant on you being good. There's nothing going for this aircraft. The funnest part about playing this aircraft was probably playing CAS, although it's really annoying constantly trying to face Russian F-5A because they will just outrange you. So it's getting a 4 out of 10 for fun. So for its worth value, it is an event vehicle, so this is basically the only time you can get it, but it's got absolutely nothing going for it, and there's definitely way better options if you were going to buy it. So for its worth value, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. This gives it an overall score of 41 out of 100, giving it a C rating. In my opinion, this F5 is not worth the grind whatsoever, and I would not buy it off the Gaijin store. And I'm assuming it'll go for a maximum of like 20 Gaijin.